I'm back home. Yay! Um, I was on the road all day today, so this is why the video's like so late after this morning's game. Um, I also got to play catch up on some shows, so yeah, I was out of town all week, but now I'm back, and I had a Chelsea game to review today. I was able to watch it on my phone on the way home. Chelsea versus Watford, and I'm torn. I really, really am, because it wasn't terrible. It wasn't as bad as some of the games under Mourinho, but it wasn't good. It just. Let's talk about it. So, Guus first game in charge. Um, you know, first game to kind of test out his formation, what he wanted to do. And so he puts out, a, I guess, a normal lineup. You've got Ivanovic, Cahill, Terry, Queta in the back. You've got Fabregas and Matic. You've got Pedro, Oscar, Willian, and Costa. Hazard still recovering from that injury a couple weeks ago, so I don't mind seeing him kind of rested for the game. Same for Zuma. I thought Zuma really would have helped in the back in this game, but I can understand. You got Man U in a couple days. It'll probably help to have him there, so rest him. That makes sense. Fabregas, though, he did get subbed at halftime, so I think Hiddink realized, yeah, there's a problem there. Put on Mikel, Um, if you've watched my videos before, you know I'm not a real big Mikel fan. I would prefer Ramirez in there, but he did okay. He defended pretty well. Uh, didn't give up the ball that many times, so he played okay when he came in. Um, but starting off, it looked good. They were moving the ball around well. They were getting good chances. It looked really good, and then it started dropping off. And some of that had to do with the fact that I think Watford kind of came out a little bit hesitant, a little bit reluctant to go forward and put high pressure. So you were just passing all around the field, no pressure whatsoever. It's pretty easy to play. And then Watford kind of got their legs going. They got the ball moving as well, and that was kind of what tipped the balance in Watford's favor. They started getting better chances. They started moving it up the field. We got kind of caught on our own side for a little bit, but then the game changed. Corner comes in, Terry heads it down, Costa's right there, turn, hit, goal. Brilliant goal. Costa in the right place, Terry getting up over over the defender to head it down. Good Chelsea goal. It's what I like to see. Goal off a set piece. But then, unfortunately, I mean, Watford was still on the front foot for the most part. That goal kind of came against the run of play, but Watford still took it to us. Then the corner, Matic with the stinking guard. I, I'm gonna say it was the guard, the mask on his face. I'm gonna say it's that's fault. Maybe he really did just do this, not thinking. But yeah, clear handball. So penalty, now it's tied. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, so, at halftime, don't really need to make many changes. And he did make the Fabregas change for Mikel, which did kind of help the defense a little bit, but what didn't help us at all is that we came out second half sluggish, like really slow. And here's the problem, is that we started off the first half, it was really good. Like I said, closing down hard. Watford could not get out of their own half because it was just, they would pass it. You got two Chelsea players right there, pass it to somebody else, two Chelsea players. They were closing down together. They're working as a team. Once Watford got going, that kind of stopped. And their second goal, came off of a lack of willingness to close down. Igalo just he practically dribbles across the top of the box. Cahill's just standing off. Takes the shot, deflects off Cahill. It's a goal. And it's just, it looked fixed last week. Like they were closing down well, they were closing down together. But this week, last week was Sunderland. Sunderland. It's I don't want to demean Sunderland and say bad things about them, but they're not exactly the best team. And so playing against Watford, who are doing really well, I mean, they beat Liverpool last week 3-0, and Liverpool obviously is struggling right now, but still, that's still a big result for them. And so you really have to close them down. You can't just give them space. But we were just giving them all the space in the world. Like ball would come across on their side, nobody would get to it, and you see players just kind of jogging. There was one time we were pressing top of the box, passing around the top of the box, ball gets given away, and literally the guy just takes a touch, finds the perfect pass in the middle. He turns, there's nobody within like 10 feet of him, so he takes it down, and it turns into a breakaway. When that first guy should have been closed down like that, but he had at least 3 seconds to kind of look and then find the pass. And I'm watching like Willian, who, not to like say Willian had a bad game. It's just this one moment I noticed it was him. And then I think Matic too was right there, and they were both just kind of like, okay, are you gonna do anything? Oh, he passed it. Okay, and it was like, what are you guys doing? Like, you're tied right now. You have to go get the ball and go score. We can't afford a tie. But when Watford's second goal went in, at that point it was kind of like desperation mode kicked in again, and kind of like what happened against Leicester. Desperation mode kicked in, and that's how we got the one goal there. Well, that's how we got the goal here. Just frantic movement. You could tell that they were really like struggling to get clean passes away because they were so worried and hurried because they were down a goal. And that's why you have to close down before they get that second goal. That way you're not in that position. But sometimes that does lead to a good ball quickly played. William delivers a nice ball in behind. Costa is where he's supposed to be again and picks out the ball, cuts it across the keeper to the far corner, and very, very nice goal, very well worked, good pass by Willian, and a good finish by Costa. And then the rest of the game was pretty much Chelsea just pushing for that the winner, and couldn't get it. Couple close chances, several half chances, but just couldn't finish it off. So like I said, I can't say it was bad, but I also can't say it was good, because there's still things. The 2 goals, obviously Matic's mistake on the penalty, and then the lack of closing down on the second goal. Those easily could have been prevented, but they weren't. And I mean, even late on, we get a penalty inside the box. Hazard comes on, does his magic, beats a guy. The guy takes him down. It's the only way to stop him. Penalty, and then Oscar steps up and slips and kicks it over the goal. I mean, there are times that this game could have been over, could have been done, and it wasn't. That's been the problem this year, is that they've had chances to kill off games. Even under Mourinho, they had those chances, and they had the mistakes that led to goals. That one mistake that led to a goal. It's the same thing. Now, the positive, though, this is why I'm saying it's not a bad game. The positive is that it looks better. Under Mourinho, those mistakes were happening. The unlucky stuff was happening, but that was the focus, because the rest of it was so bad. Mourinho tried to focus on, we were unlucky, because there was nothing else to focus on, because the rest of the game was so poor. And so these unlucky moments seemed like, we were this close. In this game, it was more like they created a bunch of chances, and those unlucky moments were, those were the deciding moments. It wasn't the unlucky moments were what killed us off. This was the unlucky moments. If they had been lucky, we could have won it. So overall, the game was better. People played better, besides from, I'd say, Fabregas. Like I said, subbed at halftime. He really wasn't effective at all in the first half. passes were kind of off. He wasn't involved that much defensively. He wasn't really there. Pedro, I think, had an off game today. I thought he played well last week, but today he just wasn't. He wasn't involved as much when he was. He was making mistakes, slipping, poor touches. I'd say Oscar had an okay game, not as good as last week. Willian had a pretty good game. Costa, I thought, played great. Finally put himself in the right positions when he needed to be. Unfortunately, got his 5th yellow, so not available against Man U. And once again, another unlucky moment. Slips into a challenge and gets a yellow for it. So, and defensively, besides from that, the second part of the first half and the first part of the second half, I'd say our defense was good. This is the first game where I feel like the whole defense just had an average game. Most of the time this season it's been like one guy played poor and one guy played great, and then the other two were just there. This game they all just were average. They played okay. None of them did really anything spectacular. Ivanovic did better. Spilicueta, he's kind of gone from being the best defender to now just kind of slipping into this. He's just another defender out there. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Terry and Cahill did okay, but I really wish we had Zuma in there for kind of a bit more pace and a bit more strength. But I mean, overall, like I said, just it was good, but still not good enough. And hopefully, I mean, obviously, Man U really struggling right now, so hopefully we can take the game to them and really get some confidence under these players. And obviously, having Hazard back will help. He looked fit in this game, and I think that was, more worried about his fitness mainly. It's really a difficult time right now because it looks better, but it was also looking better under Mourinho, so it's hard to say, yeah, things are good. But then again, the one thing that's kind of giving me hope right now, this is Guus Hiddink's first game in charge. Obviously, he's managed before, but what I'm saying is this is his first game in this new spell. So hopefully this was kind of like a test run, putting players out there, seeing how they're doing. And obviously, not all of them have been tested, but hopefully he kind of saw a couple changes he needs to make for the next game. Next game, he'll see a couple more changes he'll need to make for the next game. And so it is a learning process, and that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, this game wasn't great. But then again, it's his first game, so give him a bit of time to do something. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I can say about this one. Really, it was unfortunate, it was unlucky, but it wasn't as bad as it was. I see a lot more positives that I've been seeing lately, so there's something to take out of this game. Let's just hope that it continues from here and gets even better. For the next game, I would like to see Fabregas on the bench, because obviously he didn't do enough in the first half to convince Guus that he deserves a spot on the field. Obviously with Costa out, either Remy or Falcao. I'm kind of hoping Falcao, just because he needs to be given a chance. Obviously he's not as good as he used to be, but it's because if you think about it, he went to Man U and Van Gaal didn't really give him a chance. He hardly featured in the first team at all. And so he spent most of the season on the bench. So of course he's not as good as he used to be. He's not playing as much. I would like to see him given a chance. Maybe alongside like Hazard as a false nine, with Oscar in behind and maybe like Oscar kind of the midfield role. Matic is more defensive midfield. Willian and Willian or Ramirez out wide would be pretty cool. And then obviously Zuma, preferably Terry, Azpilicueta, Ivanovic. So I would like to see a few changes to the what we've been doing, the 2-3-1. And that's been Chelsea's thing for how many years now? Yeah, it won us the title last season, but the Premier League has changed. You can't look at last season and say, yeah, we won it last season using all these players, using this manager. Well, the league has changed. This is a much tougher league now. Teams like Stoke have gone and gotten better. Look at Leicester; they're top of the table right now. And anybody can beat anybody on any given day. So it would be nice to see some change of tactics. Maybe a couple, even I would love to see some of the youngsters get out there. Loftus-Cheek, Traore, Kennedy. Some of these youngsters that Mourinho's saying that we're going to feature this year that never hardly got to feature. I would like to see them get a chance to prove themselves. So, sorry, text message. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So I'm not happy, but I'm not completely distraught either. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more Chelsea videos. And go check out the TV reviews too. They're all there. Just waiting for you to watch. Yeah. Alright, well, Merry Christmas, Happy Boxing Day, all that good stuff. See you in a couple days. I'm so happy. So much football. Such a little amount of time. It's great stuff. Peace out.